The Chacha Queen Museum will be located at the northeast corner of Sydney University's main campus. Standing at the gate between the Victoria Park and the campus, you can see a panoramic view, including the largest library on the Southern Hemisphere, the Fisher Library, the most iconic building of the University of Sydney, the main quadrangle, and the new Chacha Queen Museum, which will be open by mid-2020. In June 2018, the Chacha Queen Museum has held its groundbreaking ceremony. After 13 years' decision-making process, the construction of this new museum finally started.
It triples the amount of exhibition space, so we'll be able to bring out of storage so much more of the collections. We'll be able to make those collections accessible for students through study rooms and object-based learning. And it will be a place for the public of all our international visitors and our local visitors alike.
And most universities have a dedicated museum. And it seemed to me that Sydney University, the oldest university in Australia, has desperately cried out wanting a proper functioning museum which could house not only the wonderful Nicholson Museum, but all the other collections they have. So a couple of years ago we were very pleased when we heard that Chacha Queen had donated a significant amount of money toward the project, and so I said that I would be happy to donate a certain amount.
Not forgetting the legacy of the initiator and the benefactor of the university's original museums. The legacy will continue to be recognized through the continuation of their current names, such as the Nicholson Collection and the Macleay Collection, and through named exhibition galleries in the new museum. The education will also be further facilitated, with more spaces, more specialized facilities, and with the combination of the Nicholson Museum, the Macleay Museum, and the University Art Gallery.
This is an opportunity for us to talk about ancient Mediterranean antiquities alongside other collections at the university: contemporary art, science history, natural history, and stories from Asia, stories from Australian, Indigenous and European Australian stories, and the Pacific as well. So we can actually begin to integrate a whole lot of different ideas about what is history, what is art, what is culture.
Everything from the display areas, the sound and the lighting for education purposes, for talks, for lectures, that will be improved as well. There'll be a dedicated coffee shop and an expanded gift shop as well. And all of us now love the whole experience of going to museums, where we don't only interact with the wonderful things behind glass, but we talk about it with our friends over a cup of coffee, or we go and buy a book that might be connected with it at the gift shop as well.
Unlike the current display style in the Nicholson Museum, the exhibition in the future will apply more technology to better interpret the objects, more interactive and more engaging. One thing that the curators are most excited about is the dedicated mummy room.
When we were thinking about the concepts for the mummy room, I kept coming back to a refrain or a phrase that Egyptians would often paint on the walls of their tomb, or even in hieroglyphics on their coffins themselves. And that phrase would be something like, "Speak my name so that I may live again." And I think that's a remarkable phrase to invite us to bring these people into the mummy room and by using the science and the Egyptological techniques, speak their names so that they can live again here in Sydney. And when I say their names, I really do mean their names. I mean the names of a man called Pediashiket, of a woman called Merowa, of a woman called Menethetes, and of a boy called Horus. We have their coffins and their mummified remains, and we would like to say their names so that they have a life here in Sydney in a way that we can learn all about them and their ancient life in Egypt.
I've always thought that one of the things that various directors and curators of the Nicholson and all of the museums have been doing in recent years is trying to lift the museums away from just being University of Sydney museums, but trying to make them museums universal for Sydney and for the nation.
It's going to reveal to the public collections that they haven't had access to. Everything from antiquities, ancient Greece, ancient Rome, ancient Egypt, extensive Pacific Island collections that have rarely been seen, 20th century art, international art that has rarely been seen in Sydney before. So it's going to reveal new things to local populations.
So if you want to say something to the new visitors, to the new Chachapoyas Museum, is there anything you want to say to them?
Come often, come frequently, take your time and just enjoy the experience.
Looking into the future, there is full of uncertainty. Therefore, it is important that we preserve the knowledge of the past. 3,000 years ago, the Egyptians applied their most advanced technology to the mummies and passed their elite to now. While at present, in this palace of knowledge, the Nicholson Museum has not only stored history, but also spread these thousands of years of human civilization through generations. And no matter where the location is, its legacy will be continued.
The Nicholson Museum plays a really important role in the cultural landscape of Sydney. By virtue of being the largest collection of antiquities, it really is a touchstone for people to come in if they want to learn about the ancient world, particularly the ancient world in the Mediterranean and the ancient Middle East. That means we have over 10,000 school students coming in every year, learning through the objects about these past cultures. And in order to understand us today, we have to understand the past because it contextualizes who we are and how we became to be where we are.